called Paladins 101. Um, I'm not here to argue with anybody. I'm not going to take your comments or questions. I'm going to give you my point of view on the characters I play most and what I see and what I've seen for the last 7 years. I I'm not here to argue with anybody. So if you think I'm wrong, just keep your opinion to yourself, and if it works for you, then it works for you. If not, this is basic stuff for people who really need help situating themselves in Paladins a little bit better. So, I'm going to do a quick run over. We got damages, flanks, tanks, and healers. Now, as far as damages go, your main job should be to sustain fire on tanks. That's your main thing, is to help the tanks with the tanks and to pick off anything else around by. So you got some people who are really dedicated to certain spots. Now you got Dredge, Bomb King, Drogos, Willow, and Betty, right? Wherever Betty disappeared to. There. Okay, they're blasters. They're explosive expert champions. They're about throwing bombs, blowing shit up. My personal opinion, if you're playing a blaster, you are not trying to get kills. You're not. You're not trying to get kills. You're not trying to go out there and be, the Don Juan carry of them all. Your job as a blaster is to maim and destroy. What I mean is you want to get in there and just do as much damage as possible and then get the fuck out. That way your team can come in and clean up. That's why blasters are actually really important. Like if you in my opinion, if you want a really good team comp, you go damage, heal, flank, blaster, tank. You know? Um you got snipers. We got Shaolin. We got Leon, which is a mid-range sniper. Then we got Strix and Kinessa and Octavia. Now, in this order, this is how you counter people. Leon can be countered by Strix, Kinessa, and Octavia just fine. She can counter the hell out of Shaolin unless he's decent. Shaolin is a special case. Shaolin is one of those characters that is so hard to fucking play, but when you learn how to play him, you will make people cry. He is very good, but he's very difficult. Um, and people will fucking shit a brick when you pick him. They will just, oh, you're throw picking. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Fuck them. Prove them wrong. Do a good job. If you can't do a good job because your team's letting you down, then the best thing I could say is AFK so your KD doesn't get fucked up. That might sound fucked up, but sometimes you get teams that will literally do nothing to help you. All they're going to do is fuck up your KD. Okay? And if you want to get anywhere professional, it's not about being Grandmaster. It's not about being Diamond or anything like that. It's about your fucking KD. That's what recruiters look for. They look at games won, games lost, and how often you get kills. They do not care if you've ever made it to Grandmaster. I shit you not. I'm not lying to you. This is the God honest fucking truth. They don't care about your rank. It's about how well you do. How good of a performance do you put on? What kind of person are you? It's all about, they want showmanship. They want people who other people are going to look at and go, yeah, he's pretty cool. Look at what he can do. They don't care if you're a grandmaster. Besides, they'll most likely not take you because a lot of grandmasters in this game are fucking pricks. Pricks. They will scream and curse and AFK quicker than me. And I'm bipolar. Like, I legit have a legit reason why I am the way I am. These people, what is their reason? I don't understand. It's not like they give me an explanation of why they do what they do. My bad. Let's get back into this. Now, you got some champions that are multi-class. You got Betty, you got Amani, Tiberius, and Cassie. Now, they're more flanky. They're about kind of getting in there, doing damage, and getting out. They got a lot of escape. They got, they can do quite a bit. And then you got your pure damages. Oh, I forgot Sati. She can flank too. But then you got pure damage. These people do nothing else but blow the fucking shit out of everything, and that's Tyra, Victor, Vivian, because that's all that's left. Oh, and Leon. But like I said, she's a mid-range sniper. But she does a lot of fucking damage. Um, Personal tip: Leon's one of my favorites because of her mid-range to long-range capabilities. I always go to talent precision.
That's Miss
Um,
Aiko to you.
if I can find the talent cards because they change everything all the time. There. Okay, precision. Hitting an enemy with your heirloom rifle increases your heirloom damage against that enemy by 7% for 3 seconds, stacking 5 times. That enemy. You got to remember that. You can't go grok because you just killed your combo. You need to persist. That's, you know? Um, what a great talent. Underrated, underused, underappreciated. It's one of my favorites. I've been using it for a very long time, and it hasn't done me wrong. Um, Tyra's my favorite champion.
Tyra.
Well, not my favorite champion, because my favorite champion is got to be um, motherfucking Dredge. Dredge is absolutely my favorite champion in this game. Uh, he's
Tyra.
really good. He really is good. But Tyra is the queen of damages. Now, you might find it weird when I say Tyra's the best damage in the game, but let me explain. Now, this bitch um, has a really good rate of fire. She has a grenade launcher, a firebomb, a tracker that increases damage towards you if she marks you, and then her alt is basically she gets faster, she shoots quicker, and has an infinite clip. Now, how I play Tyra is I play damage reduction Tyra. And what that means is I have in the fray at max. So increase your damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds after using grenade launcher. So you can literally go, but it doesn't stack anymore. It used to stack. You could go 20, 40, 60 and just be a tank. But now you can shoot it and give your like I like initiating with the grenade launcher. Even if you don't hit anybody, just shoot a grenade and then go into battle. And then of course I got my fire bombs on cooldown. And then I really like the napalm ability. Now, if you're a Tyra that is strictly burn monster only, you gotta have napalm in your kit, and you gotta have volatile, and they both need to be maxed out. Okay, but tank Tyra, experiment. It's fun. What I like to do when I first start out is I'll buy veteran and nimble, and then I'll work my way into Kronos and Haven. Okay. Oh, here's the tip with Sati. So Sati has a coin that she can flick out and shoot, and it'll do AOE damage every time she shoots it. If you're having a hard time hitting that coin, aim just slightly under it as it falls down. When you flick it and it starts to go into its fall, aim slightly under it, and you'll hit it. Its hitbox is kind of weird. It's like the hitbox is falling a little bit. I don't know, but also it comes down to basic physics. When you're shooting at something and you shoot at where it is and it's moving, your bullet will miss because they moved out of the way. What you want is for them to walk into your bullet. So if they're running to the left, you shoot slightly in front of them, not like leaps and bounds, but just enough that when your bullet exits the gun, they walk into its trajectory and take the damage. Same thing goes with the coin. You don't want to shoot at it because your bullet will go just above the coin and not hit, and then you're just sitting there wasting pips. What's another good one? Vivian. Vivian is a really good anti-flank. And why that is because she has a card called Booby Trap,
Vivian.
and Booby Trap does this, dealing 600 damage and applying knockback to those within 20 units. Now, um, that is a really good talent because it's like having a grenade that can knock people away. So say somebody like Koga runs up on you and you know you're not going to be able to gun him down in time. Flick your sensor into his face. It'll knock him back and hopefully give you enough time to escape and reposition, or maybe weaken him enough so you can finish him off before you die. Bomb King is really good. I just need to work on him more personally. Drogos is a lot of fun. Um, he's just kind of hard. Oh, here's another tip for people: Drogos, Andro, Pip, Mave. I have all of them set up so when I jump, I press my L2 on my PlayStation, and it would be left bumper for Xbox, and I don't know on Switch. Probably just another bumper, probably L1 also. Um, but yeah, I did that. So that way I don't ever have to take my thumb off the aim and I can jump around. And particularly with Andro and Drogos, because they can fly. Well, Drogos can literally fly and Drogos can levitate. So if you hold his jump button after you dash up into the air, you can levitate. So if you have your jump button on the L2, you never have to take your thumb off the aim, so you can levitate and aim and snipe people. Right? Good shit. Um, what else? What's a good tip? Oh, dredge. If you want to be a good dredge,
Ho,
my
ho,
biggest
ho,
tip is
Dredge.
it's all about his cards. So here's a really good loadout. I've been literally using this card setup since he came out. I haven't changed it, not even once. And I win my games pretty hard with him when everything goes right. That is. So Dark Bargain, heal of 250 while standing near a shortcut. You can have two of these shortcuts next to each other and you'll be healing for 500 per second. Okay? Then you can jump into it and heal for another 500. Also, you got the 450 shield when you drop below, which really helps so that way you can get into your portal. Um, uh, you know, the Hall of the Bowline explains itself. Now, here's a fun one. This is fun. And this is, you'll love it when you use it and you remember to use it. Expansive Vault. Your jump height is increased within the first second. You can increase that. But I'm telling you, like certain levels, or even just even if there's nowhere to jump to, a dredge jumping up into the fucking air, he jumps really high. He gets like um Ray or Octavia heights on his jump. Okay, and you can base that's bewildering. Could you imagine you're coming up to a dude that teleports mostly, and he just launches himself up in the air and starts shooting you? Yeah, fun times. Um, just trying to think. Here's some tips for me personally that you should keep in your head. Tyra should never lose a gunfight to Victor unless he gets a drop on her. Okay? She outshoots him and outdamages him by by tons. I don't know how to explain it. She should never lose a fight to Victor, especially if you have the drop on him. A good way to initiate fights with Tyra is firebomb first before any other thing. You might want to pull your trigger and shoot him. You might want to launch a grenade. If anything, if you're going to do anything before a firebomb, I'd say with my kit, if you're using my kit, you launch a grenade, throw a firebomb, and then immediately start trying to gun them down. And immediately shooting them with grenades to get that extra damage in. Alright, well, let's move on to flanks. Now, flanks' main jobs, in my opinion, are to kill damages and healers. Okay? They are specifically designed, in my opinion, to kill those two targets. That's all they're really good for. Now, that's not to say that flanks can't do their job killing tanks, but that's you're detracting away from your main objective, and that can lead the team into ruin if you're not taking care of your primary objectives. So there are two flanks I'd like to talk about in particular, and that's Buck and Moji. And I don't think they're flanks. I really don't. They can flank. I mean, you can flank with anybody. But these two in particular, their abilities lead me to believe that they're more of defenders. Like, they're almost like no health tanks. Like, if you put Moji on the back line and you just have her sitting there waiting for the enemy flank and damages or whatever else is coming, that's a scary thing to come around that corner and have Emoji waiting for you. If a good Emoji knows how to play, that's the end of you. Buck also, like, Buck can destroy an entire team. I've watched it. But you put him on the back line. The black line. The black line. What's the white line do? I don't know. No one ever touches it. And keep him there to defend. Because Buck was the original anti-flank. Like, his whole job in this game is to fucking make flanks pay. Okay? He's an enforcer. As for tank killers, there are four that are tank killers. And that's Sky, Koga, Talus, and Maeve. Xin sometimes. Xin literally has to have a talent to kill tanks the way he does. Maeve is on the same level. She does literally have to have a talent to be a tank killer. But Talus, Koga... Oh no, I'm wrong. Even Koga needs a talent to be successful to kill tanks. Not that these three can't do it. Not that the rest of these can't do it. But Sky and Talus are the most efficient tank killers because they do not need cards to do their job. You just need to be good and get the jump on the tank and they're gone. Koga, people always go adrenaline junkie with Koga,
Boss
and I
fight.
hate it. Yeah, you get to dash around more, but you don't get to dash if you're dead. Dragon Fangs is a really good talent, but you need a pocket healer, or you're just dead. Now, in my opinion, Blood Reaper is the best talent Koga has going for him. Cyclone Strike deals 125 of target's maximum health as damage over its duration, and your movement speed is increased by 25% during this attack. So you can basically follow him around with your alt. It is so under fucking used, so underused. It's astonishing. Yeah. Blood Reaper, in my opinion, is the best talent Koga got. And it is by far the best anti-terminus in the game. So what you do is wait, just if a terminus is on the other team, never use your ult unless he ults. Don't use it for anything else. Even if you're about to die, don't do that. Just die. So that way, when term alts, what I like to do is when I hear the once more, as soon as I hear that, I jump in there and I alt. Because by the time mine activates, his is about to finish. He explodes. I take no damage because I'm in my alt, and he is stuck inside of my fucking alt. And he is dead. No more terminus. Maeve, on the other hand, she needs a card, and I
Maeve.
always go Street Justice. Like, I get how the other ones are good, and they are good, but they're also kind of tricky. Like Cat Burglar, you got to be a good aim. And Rogue's Gambit is basically a nerf version of Street Justice, if you ask me. But Street Justice is like having Lex's alt at all points in time. So it's brilliant. That's the only way she can become a perfect tank killer. For
Cause
him, it's going to be guillotine, but I don't ever run guillotine. I don't, because when I run flanks, my job is not to go after tanks. You look like a fool, in my opinion, when you spend the whole game as a flank going after tanks, because there are damages and healers and other flanks on the field that need to be taken care of. And damages really need you to take care of the other flanks and healers. Okay? Flanks, like I said, are specifically designed to kill damages and outmaneuver them and outdamage for the most part. Damages can, of course, defend themselves. They're not completely useless twats and all that stuff. It's got to be fair. But they are designed to do that job. That's the whole reason. They're not there to kill tanks. That's what damages are for. And honestly, in my opinion, a perfect game is tank versus tank while everyone else fights their own class. Um, Evie is the hardest character in the game. Okay, hands down. She's literally the most difficult to use, in my opinion. And it comes
Evie.
down to a lot of things. She only has 1,800 health. I think, what is he at? Yeah, I was right. I was right. I
CFR.
was right. I was talking to this guy yesterday, and he's like, Seven has the lowest health in the game. I'm like, no, man, Evie. Evie has the lowest health, and you can't do anything about it either.
Evie.
Um, so here's some good stuff. Now, everybody uses Wormhole. Wormhole is a great fucking talent, blinking around, being annoying and stuff. But an underrated talent, in my opinion, is Over the Moon. It's really not that hard. It's not like Maeve, where only your first day, first weapon, or Cassie, where your first shot out of your weapon, that's it. No, you're good for whole 3 seconds. And that may not sound like much, but 3 seconds in war is like 3 days. Okay? So, Over the Moon is an underrated talent. And if you're a good shot, you will destroy everybody. Now, speaking of being a good shot with her, she shoots slow, but once again, if you lead your target and shoot just where they're going to go and not where they're at, you'll most likely hit them. If you are having a difficult time hitting anything with Evie, try shooting at their feet. It doesn't do as much damage. Um, oh, they lowered the damage. Used to be about 1,200 to 1,000. It's 800 now. But yeah, it'll do that much damage even if you shoot it at their feet because it has um, area of effect. Ice block, it's all about timing. Okay, here's the good thing. Now, people will wait for you to get an ice block and you will die. Okay? So the best thing you can do, honestly, is to blink into ice block, blink out, and fly away, unless you're waiting on your cooldowns. A good setup for Eevee is you want to buy Kronos. Kronos is a good one. Okay, speaking of Kronos, there are certain characters like Talus. I will always buy Kronos as my first buy. Okay? And here's another
Talus.
thing I noticed lately. People aren't going inner strength with Talus. Why? 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 Like, are you that afraid someone's camping your teleportation spot? That's silly. You're Talus. When you use inner strength, Reduce the cool time of overcharge and blitz by 6 seconds when you teleport using the rune of travel. If that does not put them back to usable instantly, then I don't know what to tell you. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. I gotta do something real quick, and then I'll be back in like a couple minutes. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna continue what I'm doing, bro. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, but yeah, inner strength is inner good. The only talent I use. Um, Andro, honestly, other than Defiant Fist, you can Curse Revolver is good. I usually always go Godslayer. It's just too good. You should always go Debilitate Sky unless
Sky.
there's no healer or you don't trust your healer. Vora, I'm not that. These three here, I don't play very much, obviously. I don't really like Vatu. Seven's really good. You might be the next top five. Vora's pretty good. She's just annoying. Alright, tanks. So, let's make this down. You got off tanks and point tanks, and then people who can do both. Um, Dedicated off tanks are going to be Terminus, Torvald, and then you got, well, those are pretty. Oh, and Rom. But I hate to put certain characters in that. Like, Torvald and Terminus are definitely off tanks. Ruckus, kinda, but once again, I'll get into that. So, as for dedicated point tanks, there are a lot more. We're going to go with Ash, we're going to go with Inara, Barrick, Makoa, and yeah, those are dedicated. Now, people who can do both jobs, we're going to go Khan, Fernando, Yagaroth, Azan, and Atlas. Now, they can point tank. It's kind of rough unless you know what you're doing, but they can point tank just fine, honestly. Khan, you may not think is a point tank, but he can heal himself, he can throw people off the line, he can shoot people across the map, and if you go Storm of Bullets, you're just a bully. Never go Leon's Shield. And I'll tell you why. Now, Leon's Shield now regenerates at 100% effectiveness. Whoop-de fucking do. What a waste. You might as well go a Storm of Bullets, take the 25% damage reduction on the shot, and just bully your way through. Now, Vortex Grip is a really good talent if you're going against Fernando, or you're playing casuals and you go against another con, Terminus. I mean, in my opinion, Khan is the anti-tank. He's the anti-everybody, but he's an anti-tank, and he's just an overall really good counter for pretty much everybody because he can disorient you. You know, being thrown over the shoulder or even being stunned, like you have to buy an item just to not be stunned anymore. You know, he's really good. Terminus, is the king of off tanks, but he pretends. He's more of a usurper than an actual king. The thing is with Terminus is he is probably the most boring character in the whole game. You swing axe, you jump with axe, you throw up a shield and then shoot little rocks. The best thing about him is he resurrects, but a smart player knows how to just ignore you when you resurrect and stomp you back into the ground like they did the first time. I feel Terminus is a very, very strong champion, but very overrated. Um, I don't really fear fighting a Terminus unless it's certain things are happening in the match, if you know what I mean. Like, you know. But yeah, Terminus is kind of overrated. Don't just first pick him just because. Honestly, it's easier to just let the other team have him and come up with strategy. Fernando is a great point and off tank. He was the first tank to honestly really do the whole roaming around thing because people figured out that having Fernando chase you down is kind of scary. Um, Always go Aegis Shield. I don't really think there's any other reason to use anything else. As far as Terminus goes, you can go formidable, you can or his crush talent. It really doesn't matter. They're all pretty decent. Um, but yeah, you just go Aegis Shield. I don't see any reason to go anything else. He's a great flank. He's a great off. He's a great off tank. He's a great point tank. He can. He. Oh, if you are about to die and you are by yourself, don't you fucking dare use your ult to save your pathetic life. You save that shit for your team. You're a tank. Your life is meaningless. Your whole point is to be there so that your team has somebody to soak up bullets while they pick off the other team. You get what I mean? You want to be annoying in the face as possible as a tank. You want to be the main show. That's the whole point of a tank, is to draw aggro. Um, Inara, in my opinion, again, and all of this shit is my opinion, so you can take it or leave it, is the best tank in the game. Um, if you go cripple Inara, you will make people's lives fucking absolutely miserable. Miserable. There's no reason to go dual wall unless you're on Bright Marsh. And even then, you might. I just don't see the point. Like, yeah, dual wall can be really annoying to play against, but it just means I have to go find a different way to kill you. With cripple, that means I can't get near you safely. Okay? Now, Mother's Grace is a good anti-con. But at the same time, you also have to kind of predict when he's going to fucking try to ult you. And yeah, it gets rid of all other CC and shit like that, but really, in the end, you're better off just going cripple, rely on your damage reduction talent, and not talent, but ability when shit gets hairy. And here's a great tip: off tank Inara is a fucking scary bitch. You like if you go cripple Inara with double nimble right off the bat and just chase people around. Yeah, oh man, that's the worst. Barrack, great point tank. All of his talents have some use. His slug shot talent I love. It's hard to hit, but it does 500 damage. So if you're thinking that the other two talents aren't going to do much for you, do the slug shot. It's fine. Rom. Rom is really good. He can point tank just fine. He can off tank just fine. Um, he's a really good support tank, like Torvald. Now, I say that because he has the ability called Subservient, and every time you gather skulls with your gather ability, you heal everybody around you. And some people have done 50,000 healing or more with Rom. Like, he's really good. But, most people don't use that. Bakoa. Bakoa is an underrated champion on console. On PC, he is a fucking legend. Um, my personal pick is I always go pluck. It's good to learn how to use pluck. Pluck is if you hit anybody with your anchor and you pull them in, you do extra damage to them for a short amount of time with your main attack. It's a good talent. Atlas. Atlas is the king of making sure the other team doesn't die. I say this because most Atlases are fucking stupid. They will rewind to save their own lives even if it's not necessary. Atlas is the best anti-terminus in the game. Better than Koga, better than anybody. Because Atlas can literally send him back in time before he used his ult. Or send him so far back after his ult that he has no health anyways.
Atlas.
As far as talents go, I go on Stable Fisher. Unstable Fisher is great. It saves your ass. People are gathered around you and you're having a hard time fight. Use that. Temporal Divide is also a really good one. I would only use it if you are with another tank. They'll appreciate you. Deja Vu isn't bad, but once again, I wouldn't use it if you're just the main tank. Um, Ash. Ash is a mediocre tank at best. She's fun, but she's just a tank. She goes to point, shoots people, B tank. She's the most basic bitch ever. Here's some tips. So, Most people go Fortress Breaker. I don't blame them. Battering Ram is not bad, but don't do it on levels that you can fall off of. You go further, and you like Fish Market, Frog Isle, stuff like that. You don't want to use Battering Ram. You you're more likely to fall off the map than to save your own life. But good levels, big open levels where you don't have to worry too much about falling into stuff. And if you are going to go battering ram on one of those open levels, try to aim yourself towards a wall. That way, when you charge forward, you have something to stop you from going anywhere that you don't want to. Slugshot's great for anti-snipe. There you go. She's a great character. A little underwhelming, but at the same time, she does her job, and that's all you ask for. Ruckus!
Ruckus and Bolt.
Don't fucking point tank with Ruckus. You're not that good. Um, until you do become that good, he's a good secondary. You can, and I'm saying you can point tank with Ruckus and win successfully, but you got to be on top of your shit. Absolutely got to be on top of your shit. As far as talents go, I just go Flux Generator. I think the rest of them are boring and stupid and don't really do much of anything. As far as cards go, I will show you those for this character. I'll only show you cards if I feel you like it. Like, you see what I got going on? That's what you want going on. And that'll make your Ruckus life so much better. Torvald can solo tank just fine. And the only reason I say that is because of Nullify and the fact that he can pop shields. Now, a good tip for Torvald while you're fighting solo is don't instantly pop your your recharge. Don't just pop recharge. Wait a little minute, okay? Maybe wait till you're half health to pop recharge. And I say this because not only can you not fight when you're recharging, you might actually win the fight that you think you're losing. Now, Torvald can take quite a bit of damage, obviously, but he also puts out quite a bit of damage. And it may not seem like 200 per shot's much, but when that shit's firing at you and he nulled, like, the best thing you can do is engage a fight with null and then finish it with your main attack. And if you start to get low in the middle of that fight, then use recharge. Don't use it at the beginning just because your shield's gone. You still have health. Use it, like, I also like using his recharge in the middle of a fight, like, sometimes, like, I'm in the middle of a firefight and I know I'm gonna die, but I know recharge really isn't gonna do much. I use it as a buffer. Now, that means while I'm recharging, it's getting knocked out at the same time because I'm still taking damage, but that's all that damage I'm not taking. So I'm not taking 200 or 2,200 damage for that second while I'm hitting recharge. So try to use it strategically. Don't use it willy nilly. Yagoroth. Yagoroth is an okay point tank, but you got to be careful because you don't move when you're in attack position, and that's bad. Like, never play a Yagoroth with a blaster on the other team. You see a blaster, play someone else. I'm telling you. Unless you are well, no, not even then, actually. No, you just never want to play a Yagoroth into any blaster because it'll just make your life miserable. Other than that, she makes a really good off tank, rolling around, spreading poison. I always use the talent. I gotta remember it. This one. Sight begets strength. Okay? That talent is so fucking clutch, your team will praise you. Okay? When you're running around off tanking and stuff, being able to pop that shield onto people, they'll love you. Okay? Atlas. Atlas
Azan.
is just strong. Do whatever you want with him, honestly. I don't play him that much. He was tougher back in the day. A quick tip: your dash, where you dash forward and carry enemies, you can look up into the sky and you can dash in any direction basically. You can shoot yourself up into the air anywhere as long as you're looking there and you hit dash. That's where you're going. So if you really want to disorient somebody, an enemy tank, try dashing with a swooping motion and pull them up into the air with you. They'll never see it coming. Oops. Um, Lilith. Okay, so healers. Now there are a few healers that are main healers, and that's their job. That's what they do. And then there are people that I call support healers. Now, support healers aren't exactly. It's not like they can't solo heal, but it's not preferable. You're just gonna have a hard time, and you're gonna drag your team down. Solo healers, and I mean this. Don't play these people as solo healers. That's what I mean. Don't play these people that I'm about to name as solo healers because it's not that they're bad. There's no such thing as a bad character in the game, just bad players. Now, Lilith, Meldamba, Ray, and Grover, Io, and Grok are all do not solo. Now, there's exceptions, okay? Lilith and Ray are not exceptions. Do not do this to your team. Do not pick Ray as your only solo. She is the best anti-flank in the game. She can lock you down and destroy you within seconds. But if a team member wanders off out of your radius, and they will, because if they're a flank, it's their job. If it's a damage, it's also their job. You're not going to be able to heal them. Okay? You're just not. You heal with a bubble that bounces, and unless they get lucky and they're close enough and that bubble bounces off of them, you can't do shit. Lilith, on the other hand, is almost better because she can shoot that fucking green circle at you for a pretty good distance or blow you a kiss. But at the same time, she really is not that strong of a solo healer, I feel. She's a support healer. Now, you're going to find people who are really good fucking support. Oh, I was going to say Meldamba and Meldamba, Grok, and Grover are special people in my eyes, okay? Meldamba was rated one of the top healers in the game for years straight. Grok is a fucking beast in the right hands, and Grover overall is very dangerous to fight against. But they're limited. You have to be within a certain range to get their heals properly and everything like that. Once again, it's better to have them as a secondary healer. Not that they can't solo heal, but why not make your life easier? Okay, people who can solo heal just fine, no problem, are going to be Genos, Ying, Pip, Ceres, Furia, and Corvus. Um, you might wonder why the fuck I'd add Pip in there, but Pip can literally send his heals just about anywhere on the map. And if his cards are set up right for his Mega Potion, like, okay, here's a tip. If a character's on the other side of a wall, like, okay, ice mines. So say you have a teammate up in one of the lofts on ice mine near the fucking capture point, and you got a teammate in the cave underneath. You might think I have to decide who I have to heal. Actually, if you hit the lip of like where the door is, like say a teammate's next to a window and they're in the fucking cave, you can actually heal both of them because the AoE radius goes through walls. Um, Ying is one of my favorites. I call her a set it and forget it, just like Grok. And what I mean by set it and forget it is all her heals come from her clones. So you set a clone and just let the clone do the work. You don't really have a physical heal unless you take the talent card. Uh, that card is really good, but it's situational. I feel like you do more for your team if you go focusing lens. And the reason is since she's a set it and forget it, you can lay down your clones, just keep spamming clones. And while you're doing that, you can laser the enemy team because you do so much damage now with the focusing lens. She offers a lot of utility, and that's the main key to a lot of these characters that do really well. Like I said, there is no such thing as a bad character, just bad players. But also, characters have certain situations and certain roles that they're specifically designed for, and people try to play them outside that shit or try to use them as a solo or and it just doesn't work out. Genos, I would say back in the day, probably wasn't a very good solo healer. Not that it couldn't be done. I really like him. He can heal through walls. He can heal as long as he's close enough. He can heal you. If his card I wanted to talk about
Genos.
cards. Um, Luminary is his best talent, but all of his talents are really good. So depending on the situation that you're in, yeah. Luminary, if you're the only healer, you have to go Luminary. Okay, like you're doing your team a big favor. Unless your team specifically goes, hey, we can handle this situation, go ahead and go power the Cosmium or something. Don't be a dick, go Luminary. Now, I do have a damage loadout. I just don't use it. I don't. I find myself that I have to concentrate on healing. So here's my healer kit. Um, just copy this. Honestly, the main cards that you're gonna want are Retrograde and Astral Cycle. Uh, and Relativity is a really good one too. The rest you can do whatever, but those three cards are your key hot points for being good. Grok is another set of forget it. He can Grok is one of those characters that can be legendary or an absolute shit show. Um, you just the, Here's another thing. Being a healer is very important. Okay, you are literally taking the most important job in the game. Not damage, not flank, not tank, healer. You are. I don't know how to explain. You gotta take your job seriously as a healer. People are relying on you. Okay? Not everybody has heal talents. Some do know who those are. But the rest, they really need you. And they need you to be serious about what you're doing. If you're not confident at something, you need to take the time to practice. You need to go to casual. You need to go to bots. You need to go to firing range. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to do that. Don't go into rank because all you're doing is holding people back and pissing them off. And you might find it funny to get on here and make people mad and shit. But you know what? You're just a turd. And honestly, that just tells me that your life is sad as shit. Okay? I'm not trying to get personal, but people on here are real fucking scumbags sometimes. And I'm not gonna sit here and hoist a white flag and say I never done shit. I fucking talk my fair share of shit, but I try not to fucking do anything unless people engage me. You know, I'm guilty. This game makes you want to win. You want to do good. At least those of us who give a shit. And it's frustrating when you have people fucking just dicking about and laughing at you because it's funny that you're mad. Like, thanks. Yeah, I'm mad. I am mad. Okay? You're fucking up my game. I want to do good. Just because you don't care about doing good in something doesn't mean give you the fucking right to come in and fuck it up for everyone else. How about you take that shit and go somewhere else? I'm sure Call of Duty would love you. Okay? Don't do it to this game. Don't do it to the people in this game. This game's hard enough as it is without that shit. Um, what else? If you see a Shaolin picked, don't shit your pants. There are good Shaolins out there. Shaolin is a
Got a
really
job for me?
powerful champion, okay? And my favorite talent is not recurve. It's fucking oh no, it's deadly silence. Sorry, I get it mixed up. Deadly silence. That's really good. Um, I think I'm gonna end it there for right now. I got some chores to take care of. Um, I hope some of this helps. If you have a problem with believing anything I say, there's my stats. I don't know why the wins are so low. It's never updated properly. But there you go. So take it, leave it. Hope it helps. I'll catch y'all later.